Hi, hello. Did I just hang? Hi, everyone. Can you all see me? Hello. Hi, everyone. Hi, can you guys hear me? Okay, so now this is so funny. This is the second time we had this problem. When we come in here and then I disappear. Yep. So yes, very good evening to everyone. Welcome back to Successpedia Asia, Journey to Success. So today, Rebound series comes to episode 3. And who do we have here today with us? We actually do have Adam Wang. Adam Wang is actually the president of okay, so he has 20 years real estate experience, specializing in sales and leasing of HDB, private residential properties. He's also a certified trainer as a key executive officer of his own real estate agency, experiencing in mentoring real estate salesperson RES, and conducts in-house training session for experienced RES. He's also actively involved in transformation of the industry through digitalisation. So yes, so today is really all about real estate, real talk, property talks. So without further ado, I'm not the lead, I'm just a host. So let's have Adam Wang up on live with us.
Hello, hi.
Hi, Adam.
Hi, Desmond.
Yeah. So sorry during your session, and then we had to go through this technical hiccup.
It's okay, it happens.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Hey, so we actually have a lot of people saying hi to you.
Hello, everyone.
You have Jacqueline. You also have Vincent. You have Karen. Hi, everyone. All right.
Hello, everyone.
And
thanks for joining.
And then we have Javier as well. Javier Xiao. Okay, so yes, Adam, why don't you do a self-introduction to all the viewers? Yeah.
Sure. Actually, you have already done the introduction for me. Okay, basically, I am just another agent like everyone else, every other agent else, but I run my own boutique size estate agency. We have a strength of about 40%. So I've been doing this for the last 20 years. Recently, I just got my certificate to be a licensed trainer. And I'm also a president for KEO Connect. So KEO Connect is basically a registered society that actually combine. That whereby the key executive officers will join this association and actually enjoy things like group discounts, networking sessions, things like that, and also professional courses.
Right. So something interesting that I found out while interacting with Adam this day today, the past few days and stuff like this. So Adam has been in this line for 20 years. Adam, can you tell the viewers, is this your first job?
It is my first job, and likely it's going to be my last.
Wow. 20 years in this industry, first job all the way until now. Is it passion, interest, or because you really take or what's the motivation behind for being in this industry for over 20 years?
Okay, basically what happened was that since young, I was actually having to have in touch with property transactions while my parents were transacting in our own properties, right? So that was where I get to know some basic knowledge. Very young, I know what is called a 99 years leasehold, what is a freehold property, things like that. What's a condo, what's a landed, what's a terrace house, what's a semi-D, what's a bungalow.
Right.
So that was where interest arise, and being this company was actually started by the family. It was started by the family, and at that moment of time when I came out from into the society to work, it was actually just after the Asian financial crisis. So
1990.
to 1999, very beginning of 1990 or end of 98. So
98,
end
yeah,
of 98,
98.
yeah, end of 98.
Yes.
So as you know, I mean, after a crisis, like right now, jobs are scarce, right? So jobs are scarce. So the easiest way is, why don't I go back into what I have interest in, which is property, and I will just start my career path from there.
Right. I see. Okay. All right. So let's go into the topic proper first, and then after that we sidetrack a bit, and then we do some, let the viewers understand you a little bit more, because I
Sure.
believe there are a lot of viewers that has come in today to know about one thing that is very important. I think everyone knows about COVID. It's all over the news. Everyone is
Yes.
talking about it. CNA,
Correct.
MediaCorp, Channel News. CNA is Channel News. Yeah. So yeah, so digital media, smart local, must share news. Everyone is talking about it. Even our presidents, Mrs. Prime Minister, Miss Ho Chin. Ho Chin is also posting a lot of things of such. But very importantly, what is the current situation in property industry and the market now?
Okay, basically, I think I start from when circuit breaker was first announced. Okay,
Okay.
the day when our Mr. Prime Minister stepped onto the national TV and announced to the entire Singapore that we are going into a mode called the circuit breaker for the next 1 month. Actually, many of us were taken aback. I think the entire Singapore was taken aback. So very soon, in I think less than 10-15 minutes after his talk, my phone rang. It was by agent. So after that, one after another, I got quite a few agents started to call me. They were actually worried. Say, how? What are we going to do? So are we just going to sit at home? Then how? This time die now. That's what they told me. This time die now. So I had a very senior agent was telling me, this is the first time in my life that the economy is put to a stop. So is this going to affect my livelihood very badly? I got mortgages to pay, I got expenses, ongoing expenses. And he's not the only one. I have also agents who tell me, I imagine myself as sitting at home doing nothing for the next 1 month, and I'm just burning money. There's no income at all.
Right.
Yeah, that was the very first thing that happened. But we being a self-employed, being self-employed, we don't draw a salary. So
Correct.
most agents are self-employed. So we are a bit more resilient, I would say, resilient. So we quickly think about ways. We start to discuss with one another. What should we do? How should we actually continue with our work? So being part of the association, so what we do is that we actually gather members together, our fellow members. We rest assure them that for the next 1 month, you'll not be sitting at home doing nothing. We put them into learning new skills. What we did was that we conducted tech tools tours. Tech tools, we introduced them to tech tools like e-signing, because since you're at home, you cannot do physical signing. So of course you have to do electronic signing of documents, right? And also we expose them to how to use social media to actually market your property. And some of them had never touched virtual tours before. So we also introduced them to virtual tours. So so every week we conduct twice on sharing sessions on tech skills, and also some of the knowledge-based skills, recap some of the old skills, and we tell them to reconnect with your contacts, right? This is where it's a good time. Everyone is at home. It's time for you to reconnect with your old contacts. Get this connection going so that you can move forward after the circuit breaker. Okay, then what about the market itself? I would say that for the residential market, it's definitely not as flamboyant as before COVID-19, but it has not come to a standstill, and it's actually still moving, but it's just that it's moving at a slower pace. Sorry, give me 1 minute.
Sure.
Okay, so what happened is that very beginning we experienced some residential property tenants start to call. They request, can you talk to the landlord? Can we ask for rental discount? We lost our job, or our job is put on a suspense for the next 1 month, 2 months. So, but of course, this is a relatively small number. So, of course, individual landlords will actually react very differently. Some of them will be more empathetic and actually maybe give them a small discount, things like that. And some are just unable to do so. Okay. But lucky enough, the government actually stepped in to assist the companies, right, by waiving the foreign workers levy, and also helping the Singaporean by helping the Singapore companies by paying the Singaporeans salary. We have this joint support scheme, JSS, for local employees. So, but to my surprise is that the rental take-up rate during the circuit breaker was still pretty much fast, more than what I can imagine. And same goes for sales. Sales, of course, everything is slower, but it is still moving. It is still moving, as what I mentioned before just now. So buyers, prospective buyers and prospective tenants, they start to call their agents. I would like to view property. So the first thing we will tell them is that I'm sorry, but we cannot meet, so we cannot do any physical viewings. So what we will suggest to them is that, can I perhaps bring you to a video call for the property tour, or perhaps we can do a 360 virtual tours for you, and that was how transactions were actually conducted during circuit breaker time, at the comfort of everyone's home. I mean, safe in everyone's home. So the more fast-witted customers will actually make their decision just through the virtual tours itself, and then speaking to the agents on the condition of the property, the layout, the surrounding, etc. Okay, so they even make deposit and subsequent payments using online bank transfers to the landlords, and documents were actually signed electronically. So residential market is still quite okay, I would say. So I think on the news you can see that it was actually broadcast that I think quite 200 or 300 units were actually sold. New units were actually sold during the circuit breaker, right? Okay, for commercial units, on the other hand, it's a bit more different. I think you can see the emphasis during the past 4 budgets that the finance minister keep talking about. We will help companies, right? So that is where commercial properties tenants are, right? So actually, just right after Chinese New Year, I think late of January, we start to have commercial shops tenants calling us, requesting for rental discounts. They were saying that business is slow, very low footfall, very slow businesses, very low footfall. So, I mean, being retail shops, footfall is very important, right? I mean, I think everyone will agree with that. Okay, so within a week of, just after CNY, within 1 week, I received about 3 such requests. And after, of course, subsequently, as subsequent weeks, we have even more of such requests. So some of the landlords were actually caught off guard, no? Because they were still having the after CNY mood. So So I would say that the COVID-19 actually struck the commercial properties fast, very fast and very hard, very fast and very hard. So and soon after that, of course, as I mentioned just now, the budget actually kicks in and actually give rebates to commercial property landlords. In return, these landlords are supposed to pass these rebates back to the tenants, right? So I would say for this pandemic, we can see how responsive the government is in terms of saving the SME businesses and jobs. I mean, just yesterday, the latest budget, the government actually announced to increase the commercial property tenants' enjoyment of a rental reduction, right? While even the private commercial properties tenants will also enjoy 2 months rental reduction.
Right, right. But this is really very much towards rental and then for businesses. But
Yes.
how about the market for buying and selling? I think before we come to the question, I think our viewers has one question. Johnson was actually asking, how do you set up the virtual tour video without going to the seller's unit?
Okay. For virtual tours, I would say it's difficult to do it without us going to the seller's unit. So what we'll do is we will get the seller or the tenant in the house to help us to do a video. Either do a video, a thorough video, or maybe we will just take the client through over the phone and do a what you call a WhatsApp video call. That is one of the method that we do it. But of course, some of us actually have some virtual tours already taken way before COVID and actually published online.
Right. Okay, so Johnson, I hope that answers your question. But anyway, phase one, a lot of production house have been lifted. So companies like us, we are able to go out to do filmings. So if you have that could be a solution to if you are worried about. I was just talking to to Adam about this before the show, Yeah. Okay. Yes. All right. So yeah. How about back to the question? But how about the market for buying and selling of HDB maybe or landed properties or even your condo investments?
Actually, recently, I think less than 2 weeks ago, I actually transacted the HDB resale during circuit breaker without going. Everything was everyone was staying. Did it at the comfort of everyone's home. So same thing. The contracts were signed virtually. Of course, at the end of the day, we still have to. For HDB, we say it's a bit different. So we will still have to put up the hard copy after the circuit breaker. Yeah.
Right.
So it can still be done, especially actually is especially useful for new launches, because new launches are projects whereby developers would want to sell fast, right? They have the most unit for sure, right? So what happened is that they have conducted or even some of the agencies have done the virtual tours, a very I would say high definition well done virtual tours of the entire show flat. So the prospective buyers can actually view the house from there.
Right. Okay. So the market is not as dead as what people think, because I think the government made mention, no viewing, and then the pricing of the properties all at a standstill and stuff like this. So it's very much still alive. Okay. All right. Now, you. This is funny. I got to put this up. Ryan, you are his idol. Wow.
Okay. Oops.
Yeah. Okay. So now, in 1 to 2 years down the road, because there's a huge change in the landscape of buying and selling, and in fact, on property values and stuff. But how's the outlook of the whole market in the next 1 to 2 years down the road?
Okay, for this year itself, I think the buoyancy of the sales and sales market and the rental market condition will very much depend on how the COVID situation evolves. Okay, so in the short term, which is for this year itself, we have another 7 or 8 months down the road, right? Okay, buyers will not see much of a fire sale situation. I know there are some of them already starting to hunt around. Are there any fire sales going around? I want to buy, bargain. Okay, but as you know, because the government has put in so much measures in place to cushion the fall, right? Cushion the fall, make sure that everyone's asset remains asset and not a liability. Okay, so first of all, owners are actually allowed to defer their mortgage loan repayment, right, to up to end of this year. Up to end of this year. So this year they're very much saved. So subsequently for buyers of recently the government also announced that buyers of new launches who bought from developer, they can also extend the additional buyer stamp duty by another 6 months. So this will give them ample time to sell off their existing units. Okay, and the other thing is businesses will be allowed to defer the rent for up to 6 months, which is to October of 2020. Okay, so, and also developers they are allowed to extend their project completion period by 6 months. So this will allow more time for the developers to sell off the place, allow the buyers who have bought a new place and waiting to sell off their house ample time. Right. So looking at such the measures that are put in place, this year itself, I think there will not be too much of a fluctuation in terms of price. Perhaps maximum, I would say 5% drop 5%. At the most. That is my personal view.
But if it's a lot.
Sorry. Please go ahead. 5%. Yeah, but if you look at in terms of a crisis, 5% is pretty much low. Okay, in terms of crisis, yeah. I mean, of course, let's not look at in a normal situation, right? Okay, but the good news is that owners are also able to keep the houses ongoing. I mean, although you may lose your job or your pay package may be shrunk, but you are still able to finance your loan. Why? Because if you actually notice the news on those home loans packages, the Singapore interbank offer rates, or what we call the STIBOR rate, is very low right now. It's only 0.56%. So owners who have not actually repackaged or refinanced their property, it's time for you to think about it, so as to pay a cheaper installment.
Right.
So this will actually help them to keep their property longer without having to sell off at an undesired price.
I see. We have a question that's very related to what we are talking now. So Leon Hong has asked, in your opinion, in your view, when will be a good time to sell existing residential property? Is it Q4? And second question will be any anticipated measure to help buyer to get next property?
So that's 2 questions. Okay. Let me see. Sorry, let me gather my phone first.
Sure. Actually,
okay, Leon, if let's say you are selling and buying your next property, if it's a 1-to-1, I wouldn't say there is such a thing called the best time, because you are basically selling off one and buying the next one. If you sell cheap, you buy is also cheap. I mean, the theory is like that, right? You buy high, you sell high, you buy also high. But if let's say you are trying to offload a investment property, for example, I will put it this way: if your property is having a good rental yield, I believe you should be able to still sell for a pretty much good price. If right now everything is still unstable, everyone is still having a big question mark in their head: when will the economy recover? Right? Or when will COVID find a vaccine or even a medicine that actually cures COVID-19? So I will say perhaps you can. My personal view, maybe you wait, maybe slightly towards the end of quarter, at the back of quarter three, you can see how the prices is like, right? If let's say the prices is still undesirable, then perhaps you can just wait a bit more. if you are in the need to sell, if you are in the need to sell, okay. So the next question will be any anticipated measures to help buyer to get the next property. Any measures to help the buyer to get the next property? Loan is cheap. It's easy for you to buy, and in terms of a crisis, now it's a crisis. Definitely, there will be definitely more sellers than buyers. Looking at how the situation is, perhaps in the next 1 month or 2 months, we start to see more property owners wanting to sell their place, right? Their second home or the third home, right? So I think it's pretty much easier for a buyer to get a more desirable house, right? I wouldn't say the most desirable price, but a more desirable house.
Right. Does this question, does this relate to what you mentioned just now, that there will be some fire sale? You know, people just want to offload at a point of time. So
as I mentioned, the likelihood of seeing a big a mass fire sales is very much unlikely. But perhaps there may be pockets in between whereby you see some owners that really need to offload fast. Then perhaps you can get the fire sale from there.
Right.
I mean, when we say the word fire sale, what constitute a fire sale? So long as the property is placed on the market at a price which is low, maybe perhaps 100,000 or even 200,000 below the valuation, that is very much a fire sale already.
Right. I think I have a better term for that. Panic sell.
Panic sell. Cannot. Everyone will start queuing at NTUC.
yeah. I know. COVID. Circuit breaker. Quick. Sell. Sell. So I have money to go NTUC and buy food. Yeah. Okay. All right, Leon. I hope that answers your question. Yeah. So I guess there's no good and bad time. Yeah, and still, what I believe what Adam is saying is we have to consistently monitor the market, consistently monitoring the sales value, right?
Right. Correct. Right.
Okay. So we have SY Tan. Do you have anything to add on to the previous question, Adam?
Oh yeah. Because you're asking me between 1 to 2 years, so I just covered for the 1 year. I mean, you have to go on next to the next.
Right. Okay. Okay. Let's answer this question for the viewers first. I think viewers' questions are more important than mine.
Sure.
So SY Tan, I don't know the actual name. So, but yeah. Do you think it's a good time for the unemployed to join? Yeah, unemployed to join property estates advisor. Wow. Okay, this is a tough question.
This industry has low entry barriers. So long as you are above 21 years old and you have at least 4 O-levels credit, you are eligible to sit for the Real Estate Salesperson exam, which is the REX exam. So whether is it a good time for unemployed to join? Okay, during a good time, or I always tell friends who are thinking of coming into this market, perhaps after you join, you have to give yourself at least 3 months to maybe 4 months with zero income or very, very low income to bring home, right? But during a time like this, I would say you have to perhaps have at least 6 months to 9 months. You have to be prepared that you have no income to bring home. Of course, it may not happen, right?
So it's as good as running your own business. So like for example, for my company, when we first started, first year
Mm.
we were no one drew any pay. The partners, the shareholders, we don't draw pay. So we
Yeah.
sustain, we move, we build the platform, we build the company before we think about, and then after we build the revenue, before we think about the pay and stuff. So is it very similar?
It is very much similar, because of course your company leaders or your agency leaders will try to help you to kick the ball rolling, telling you how to go out and get some leads, but it doesn't really it's not necessary that every single lead will translate into a sale, right?
Right. So as why I hope Adam has answered your question. I believe there's no such thing. Also, no good time or bad time for joining. It's just about the timeline that they need to hold on their back end, making sure that they can sustain financially.
Yes, there is no good time or bad time.
Okay.
I always believe in this Chinese word, 危机. When there is a way, which is right now crisis, right? There will definitely be 机会.
Right. I definitely agree. The one definitely agree. So but this 危机, Singapore no more 飞机, Changi Group terminal also closing down. So like,
No traveling.
Okay. Yeah. Hey. Okay. So Jacqueline asked. Sorry, I don't understand this question. But did you mention about?
What do you mean about private owner need to give tenant 2 months rental free? I think I didn't mention this at all. Did I?
Yeah. I don't think we mentioned this.
I think,
is there something government?
Perhaps she's trying to perhaps she's talking she's relating to the 2 months rental rebate that commercial property tenants will actually enjoy, as what the government announced. Yeah, that's perhaps that's what she meant.
Yeah, I guess so. That was announced recently, right? Yesterday.
Yes. Correct. Yesterday.
Okay. Jacqueline was very fast to respond. So she said, "Oh, sorry, maybe I hear wrongly." Yeah. But I think, yeah. But government, since we have spoken about that, government does have this. Did mention about the 2 months rental rebate for.
Yep.
Yeah. But what is that all about actually?
Okay, what happened is that when the during the first budget, when it was announced, the finance minister actually said that the owners of commercial properties will actually receive the rebate back for the property tax rebate. So the property tax rebate that the government give back to the commercial property land owners, they are supposed to pass this rebate back to the tenants. So that is it works out mathematically, is about 1.2 months of a rent, 1.2 months of rental. So that was how it is. But yesterday, the latest budget, they actually announced another 0.8 month rent. So work out, all in all, is 2 months.
I see. So technically speaking, when government gives the rebate, that means the government is absorbing 2 months of rental for the tenant.
Yes.
So at this point of time, if any of the landlord, they take this money and then they still collect money from the tenant. So these are unethical landlords.
Oh no, it's not unethical, it's unlawful.
It's a law.
Yes.
It's a law. They
Yes,
have to.
Correct.
Okay. For all you landlords out there, if you're watching this, please abide the law. This as good as COVID. A circuit breaker, when you go out, you don't wear a mask. It's unlawful, no? Yeah. Okay. Great. After you answer that, right? Jacqueline says you are her idol. You have many fans. Okay. So Now back to my question to you will be
for the next 1 to 2 years.
Okay. We go back to 1 to 2 years down. Yeah.
So basically, for next year, really depend very much on the economy, how fast it can recover, and how jobs will be saved and or you'll be recreated, right? I mean, we do not want to see high unemployment rates, right? Already we are seeing announcement of job cuts, company closures, right? So will this trend continue towards the end of this year and affect the market for the next year, right? If by then the COVID situation continues to be badly affected, or there are more infections or even second wave of infections leading to further rounds of lockdowns, I believe the market will take a very heavy punch compared to right now. So, however, we must never forget that over the years, Singapore and Singaporeans have actually built up wealth and also cash savings. So, and also at this current moment, 27th of May, okay, the multiple rounds of cooling measures are still in place. So I mean, if prices starts to come crashing down, I think government will start to leave these curbs one by one in order to cushion the drop, right? So in Singapore, we are a bit more unique as because bulk of the country stay in public HDB flats, right? So government being the largest landowner, they have a lot of control over the releasing of the government land sale and also the build to orders flat. So somehow or another, they are able to gear the fall or gear the increase in prices all these years, you see. So especially after the 97 Asian financial crisis, we see that the Singapore government and also the rest of our ASEAN neighbors actually have evolved and react much faster. Yeah, you actually, if you follow the news, you can see our friends in the north, in Malaysia, Thailand, or in the south, Indonesia, they are also reacting very fast. Right. So should the property prices start to see a dive, the government will definitely step in anytime. They will put a stop. Don't sell land. Stop the BTOs. Pull a plug on all the cooling measures. Right. Okay. Although this being said, I wouldn't say that the property price won't drop at all next year, but I also don't expect to see a huge drop. However, for investment purpose, rental market also will play a crucial part as well, as because homeowners with 2 or more properties would tend to want to rent out these properties, collect a rental income, of course, with a lucrative rental yield to pay the mortgages. But if we start to see mass layoff and company downsizing, very likely we will see the situation of the foreign expats with a very small housing budget. So, of course, this will in turn relate back to affecting the property prices.
Right. Okay. Wow, that's really a lot. Okay, so and that's just 1 to 2 years down the road, and I cannot imagine what if my question to you was 3, 4 years, 5 years down the road. Okay, hey, Johnson has a question coming up. Okay, Johnson is asking, with more companies taking up work from home model, would that cause a drop in rental for commercial unit?
Actually, even my summarized answer is yes, it will. Okay, definitely, because when we start to see the workforce scattering back into our homes, right? Because generally most of the working force work in towns, central town CBD. So if people start to work from home, then it will definitely bring lesser spending money into the retail shops around the CBD areas. So especially in towns, right, in our Orchard shopping malls, Marina Bay Sands, etc. So it will cascade down to the other commercial shops as well. So you will see, I would say, an imbalance. Because what happened is that, okay, in the past, the shops in downtown Singapore will actually cost more than shops in the outskirts, right? I think that is knowledge everyone should know. So you imagine right now, if everyone is paying a high rental for downtown shops, and suddenly you start to have maybe 20%, 30% of your workforce back home. So these people will only spend their money around their neighborhood, right? So why should tenants still continue to pay more rental in downtown commercial shops?
Yep. Okay. That's very interesting. So Johnson, I'm not sure. Does that answer your question, Johnson? Are you satisfied with the answer? Sorry, I sabo a bit, yeah. Okay. Mainly ask. So should I go into the market to buy now or wait? Or this falls back to the similar question where we answered just now. Yeah. So yeah.
Actually,
Adam?
okay. If let's say you are buying your first property, a matrimonial home, right? A house for you to stay. I don't see a reason why it will stop you. You see, right? Because you need a roof over your head. Everyone needs that, right? But if let's say you are not in a hurry to you're not in a hurry to buy something for your own stay, perhaps you can scout around. But as I mentioned just now, there is no best time to buy. So long as you find something that you desire, you should go for it. Every property is unique. Don't miss the boat.
I have a feeling. Yeah, meaning I'm not sure whether this apply, but I have a feeling that a lot of viewers or a lot of people out there, the motivation or the purpose behind buying and selling, sometimes it might not even be looking for a roof over the head. They are just looking for the maximum profit. I mean, when I was selling my own flat as well, initially it was really looking at the max before we come to terms and then understand that, hey, some things are not just about that number, the max profit. You have to find the right buyer. Yeah.
I understand. Correct. And you can have 100 viewers for your flat when you are putting up for sale, or you can only have one viewer for your flat. That is not important. At the end of the day, you can only sell to one person. Am I correct? Because you have only that one product.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. All right. Okay, viewers, thank you so much for the engagement. Please do keep your questions coming in. We have about 15 to 20 minutes with Adam. So yeah, just keep throwing them the questions in. If not, then I'm going to throw my next question to Adam. So Adam, you mentioned just now about viewers, the house owner having to take videos for themselves, and then sellers having to lease their properties or to help lease properties in a whole different digitalization way. And of course, the sellers themselves, they got to come in. So now, during the whole COVID-19, before and after circuit breaker, and even during the rebound where circuit breaker is going to be lifted, how can all these three group of people work together strongly hand in hand so to push the property scene?
Okay, I would say pre-COVID-19, pretty much when a owner engages an agent, most of the job definitely you engage someone, you will get that person to do the job, right? But now with COVID-19, with phase one coming, agents are still not allowed to go for physical viewing. So we still will have to continue with our virtual property viewings, right? So for agent-wise, I will tell them without delay, quickly go and learn, adopt new technology, conduct the online viewing tours, right? Don't forget, most of the people right now have a smartphone. They are on social medias. So why don't you start your social media advertising, target your prospects through these medias? Okay, home sellers should be more proactive. They should actually help to optimize the selling experience, collaborate with the agents that they engage, allow and assist the agent through helping to declutter your house if let's say your house is in a mess. Okay, or when there's too much stuff. Okay, do home staging if let's say if it's if it's a vacant property, because some viewers are just unable to visualize how a home will look like when all the furnitures are put in, all the built-in cabinets, everything are built in. So home staging is also very important. So by decluttering, home staging will actually help to get a much better quality of photo taking, right? And also the video tour shows the essence of your home, right? Importantly, for homeowners, especially in the time like this, is to price your property right. Don't I'm sorry, I'm not no offense to homeowners. Some owners tend to price their asking price on the higher side. I know everyone is house proud. Everyone is proud of our own place, right? I mean, my house is better than my neighbors, right? But let's put it this way: when the buyer look at it, it's just a listing. It's just a listing. So a nice property, photos, videos, and right price will actually help your selling experience. Okay. Buyers, on the other hand, please understand, it's not that we do not want to physically bring you for home viewing. It's just that we are not allowed at this stage. Okay, hopefully by phase 2, we are allowed to do physical home viewing, right? So please view the properties through photos, through videos, or 360 tours. If any further elaboration is required, why don't you contact the agent, or maybe he can even the agent, he or she can even set up a meeting with the seller and do online video sessions.
Right. So really take three hands. Usually take two hands to clap, but this time round it takes three hands to clap.
All right.
Wow, there's really a lot. But I mean, I don't mind sharing. I cannot share the price, but I wouldn't mind sharing and supporting whatever you have said to the viewers as well, that the pricing really must be, as a seller, you cannot price it too high. I'll be honest, my previous house was really at a very good location. You talk about shopping mall, right? It's just 2 minutes walk away.
Okay.
There's a train station, 2 minutes walk as well, side by side. But we didn't price it to. We know that there's a value, but we will rather price it so that our agents have an easier time to find us the right buyer. We build the right chemistry, and then it's not just a buy and go transaction, but we make sure there's a relationship built between the buyer and the seller and the agent. I don't know whether do I support your whatever you have just said.
I mean, personally, when I sold my first matrimonial place, right? It was a BTO in Sengkang. I sold my first matrimonial house. I look at the prices that everyone was asking. I told myself I'm on the 10th floor. The highest is 16. My condition is pretty much good. Good. But because I was ready to sell. So I told my wife, let's put at this price. Let's not go too high up. Then she was asking, hey, but I saw other listing, blah, blah, blah. They were putting up the price. I said, never mind. That is not important. Importantly is ourselves. Don't compare it to others.
Yep. Why do I have a feeling we were neighbors before this? Okay, but never. We take this offline. We cannot let people know where we stay. Okay. Jacqueline is asking, Adam, is there out there a good... Jacqueline, we are a production company, but we have not done it before. We don't mind trying. Yeah.
So you should go to Successpedia Asia.
Hey, thank you. Buy properties and rental, all this. Look for Adam and his on my left.
Okay, it's too commercialized already.
Right. Okay. Yes. But Jacqueline, if you do want to know, we also can recommend if we need to take this offline, you can talk to Adam or you can talk to us. No, not an issue, not a problem. That's why I asked. Jacqueline, that's why I asked. Actually, Jacqueline, I really like your profile picture though. It's a dog. Yeah, nice. Okay, now so before we call it a day, before we round it up, viewers, if you have any more questions, please keep it rolling in. Oh yeah, Jacqueline, we will contact you after this. Not a problem. Okay, so yeah, any other questions from the viewers related to property? You want to know which area might be? Hey, talking about this, sidetrack your question. I asked on behalf of the viewers, which area is the best now?
Personally, I will find that if you are financially able to, this is my personal view, yeah. No offense to anyone else, okay. It will be good to go back into the prime area, of course, our core central area, because over the past couple of years, the region that we known as the rest of core area, places like Bishan, Papayo, Potong Pasir, Queenstown, these are what we call the rest of the core area. The prices has increased quite significantly. So if you compare prices wise versus the core central region, the price gap is not that great anymore. So if that being said, why not put your bet onto the core central region, which is, I would say, a safer bet.
But central region means which are, when you talk central, the first place that came into my mind was Orchard Road. Sorry. Yeah.
Okay, come. You give me a moment. I have to recap also. Okay, basically,
okay.
core central region will be places like Orchard, Newton, Novena, Bukit Timah, Holland, city area itself,
right,
and also Sentosa. So for the rest of the core will be places like Katong, Potong Pasir, Toa Payoh, Bishan, Queenstown, Teluk Blangah, Buona Vista area.
Right. So those are the places that you would better recommend.
I would as I mentioned, because the rest of the core has actually price increased quite significantly. So if you have financially able to, perhaps you can place your bet onto the core central region itself.
Right.
But if let's say you are not that you're not comfortable to put that much money in, then of course the rest of core region, there are still pockets whereby you can actually place your bet on.
Right. Okay. Great. So yeah, viewers, I hope you like what Adam has mentioned and said. So last question for the night for Adam. Adam, is there one thing that you would like to say to your viewers now?
One thing. Okay. To the home buyers, I would say home purchase is big ticket items. So now you cannot do physical viewing. I know you are sad. We are also sad. Agents are also sad. We cannot step out of the house to do viewings. So make use of tools. Make use of the portals that you see to view your property list. To view the properties that you're searching for. And if you want to know the neighborhoods, why don't you use those free tools like One Map or even Google Street View? Right, know the neighborhood, right? You don't have to step out of your house, right? And if you otherwise go online, look at some reviews of the area, so and so, right? I mean, for agent friends, I will still repeat what I have said before just now. Start to modify your practices, throw away your bad habits, learn and adopt new effective tools and skills.
Right. So okay. Yeah, just for the agents out there, if there's one platform that they would need to go on to do their learning, which platform would that be? Is there one platform for them, for these agents?
As as a member of a industry association, I would say that you should actually join us in SEAA and also KEO Connect. Right, this is a industry association, and we very much helping our members, agent friends, in upgrading. Not so. I mean, of course, you upgrade within your own agency, but across the industry, as industry associations, we are also doing the same. And of course, we do it slightly differently in compared to agency levels.
Right. Okay. So KEO Connects, and the other one is SEA.
SEAA.
SEAA.
Yes, correct. Singapore Estate Agent Association.
Right. Okay. All right. Okay. So I think that's all for tonight. Thank you, Adam.
Thank you.
Much for your time with us tonight.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. Okay. So I'll see you around.
Sure. Thank you.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Good night.
Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye bye. All right, so viewers, thank you so much for staying with us. We hope you liked what you have heard and the session with Adam, and so the many insights to property, the industry, and the commercial scene. Do like and follow Successpedia Asia to get your daily motivations, to get your daily feeds, and also to get an update on when is our next live session. It could be this coming Friday. It could be next Wednesday, or it could be live with us at our studio, right? Because thank goodness our company is registered under production, so we are lifted in phase 1 of circuit breaker, and we are due to return to work in coming 2nd of June. So yes, so I hope everyone likes what you have seen, what you have saw. So Desmond here, your newbie host, facilitator of the night, and signing out.